radios to stay in communication. Okay, so space में क्या है ना, radio waves work there. Radio waves can be used in the vacuum medium. Vacuum medium में हम use कर सकते हैं. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
And sound क्योंकि हमें पता है it's a mechanical wave. Mechanical waves are those waves that requires a medium for propagation. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Thereby, we see that sound waves cannot travel there. Okay. Now, can you guess like how many stars are there in the universe?
Sir, more than 100 billion. 100 trillion billion.
Almost like if you were to raise 10 to the power of 23. Okay, approximately this much of stars are there in the universe. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And there's a probability that the number of planets could be more than the stars. Planets
Yes,
ke numbers hain, it could be more than the stars, because you see, each of the stars will have some planets revolving around it. समझ रहे हो आप
Yes,
लोग?
sir.
Each of the stars, since the stars are huge, they are bigger than the planets. Thereby, they will have a field of gravitation more than that of planets. So thereby, the planets will be revolving around that. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, guys, take interesting question. Hai. If I say that your age is 20, someone's age is 20 years. Someone's age is 20 years. So
Yes, sir.
how many revolution of sun that person has done?
Sir, 20.
20, obviously. Good. Okay. Okay. Now, talking about Mars, you know, there was a spaceship sent here by the name of Mangalyaan
Yes, sir.
in the year 2013. Okay, do let me know
Yes.
once I'm visible. Okay, so on 5 November 2013, and a spaceship was basically not a spaceship, it was a satellite by the name of Mangalyaan. It was sent in the orbit of the Mars, not
Yes, sir.
exactly on Mars. Mars orbit में भेजा गया था, and Earth actually became the first planet. India actually became the first country to successfully send the Mars in its first attempt to send the satellite into the orbit of the Mars in the first attempt.
So you're visible.
Yeah, I'm visible. Okay, then good. So 2013 में भेजा गया था, but the satellite got into the orbit of this Mars in the year 2013 after in the year 2014 after a few months. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So on, you can add one point here. कभी भी question पूछा जा सकता है. So make a small box here and write about Mangalyaan. Which country sent this satellite?
India.
India. Okay. Mangal, that is Mars. Yaan, that is vehicle. Yaan हम किसे कहते हैं? Vehicle को कहते हैं ना?
Yes, sir.
So Indians have got their own name. I mean to say, Indians जो है, they give it its own traditional taste, its own cultural taste देते हैं Indians काफी सारी चीजों में, right now. Okay. Okay, that is one of the interesting thing about India. If you were to look at other countries, they basically don't assign the names of thing as per their culture and tradition. But here in India, we get to see that. है ना?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like
Okay.
Aditya.
So ये कब भेजा गया था? Aditya L1, 5
Yes.
November 2013
2014.
and 2014 में ये orbit में पहुंच गया था. In the year 2014, it reached the orbit of the Mars. So thereby India became the
Yes,
first
sir.
of the country to successfully send a satellite into the orbit of the Mars. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. In the previous class, we had talked till Saturn. Yeah. By the way,
Yes, sir.
actually, no, mistakenly, I took this picture here as the picture of Saturn actually.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This picture which you are seeing here, that is actually Uranus. Okay now.
Yes, sir.
ये Saturn की actual picture है. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what are the things we talked about it? It is the second largest planet after the Jupiter. It is the sixth planet from the Sun. Talking about Saturn, hydrogen and helium are the composition of it. It is a planet having least amount of density. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And its density is even lesser than water. Like if you were to
Water.
have a huge ocean, बहुत बड़ा सा ocean है हमारे पास. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So basically, Saturn can float in it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Saturn can float over that. Okay. Talking about its rotation time period. Rotation की time period है less than Earth, almost less than the half of Earth. Okay, it is 10 hours. It takes
Okay.
10 hours. Talking about revolution time period कितना है इसका? It is 14 hours. This is how much? 14 hours. Getting it now?
Excuse me, sir. 14 hours?
14
How, sir?
hours? No, not 14 hours. Okay, it's 10 hours 14 minutes. That is a rotation time period. ठीक है ना? Talking about revolution time period, this is around 29.5 years actually. ठीक है ना? 29.5 years actually.
Yes,
हाँ.
sir.
तो ये correct data है हमारे पास. Okay. Now, how many moons are there? Like अगर हम moon की बात करते हैं Saturn के, there's almost 50 moons that are confirmed. More than 50
Yes, sir.
moons are
53.
confirmed.
Yes, sir. 53 confirmed, 9 provision.
हाँ, so we say that total number of satellites की हम बात करते हैं और moons basically they are 62 moons, okay, including
Yes, sir.
provisional and confirmed. So 62 moons are there. Now Saturn की अगर हम moons की बात करते हैं, out of all the 62 moons, the biggest moon is the Titan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Titan.
This Titan is very interesting.
Yes,
ये
sir.
बहुत ही interesting moon है. Okay, and this Titan has got a width almost equal to Canada. Canada आपने देखा है, the map of Canada.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now close to the North America. So its width is equivalent to width of Canada. हम ऐसे compare कर सकते हैं. Width is equal to that of Canada. ठीक है. Now talking about the planet Titan. Titan में ये speculations हैं. It is being said about Titan that it has got underground oceans. यहाँ underground oceans हैं. समझ रहे हैं आप? So in the
Yes, sir.
Titans, you will get to see that you have got underground oceans. Okay. So when
Sir,
the
is it
satellites passed
frozen?
across this Titan, yeah, it is actually frozen. I think it is actually frozen. The temperature is somewhat in minus 200 or something. Yeah, please do check that.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not entirely sure about that. So it has got underground oceans, and basically क्या होता ना? There was satellite that was basically crashed into the surface of Titan. Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
So basically क्या किया गया ना? They to get a picture of it, what was basically done? A satellite was basically allowed to fall onto the surface of the Titan, but miraculously that did not crash but landed on a soft surface. Thereby, if you were to search about the images of Titan, you can get some images of the surface of the Titan. Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is about the biggest moon of the Saturn, that is Titan. Okay, here's a look at one animation I have got here. I believe that is not of Saturn. Let me check that.
It's on Neptune, I guess.
This one here. That's animation of. Let me first reduce the volume. Okay. अगर वॉल्यूम बहुत ज्यादा हो तो मुझे बता देना. Okay.
Yes, sir.
See here.
With its gold color
Or
and stunning
if it's not audible है ये?
planetary gem.
No, sir.
No. Okay.
A little more, sir. Yeah.
Saturn is the second largest of the 8 planets, and it is about
Audible?
10 times as
Yes,
wide
sir.
as Earth.
Kind of, sir.
Despite its size, Saturn is actually the lightest planet.
Look, I think it's not properly audible. मैं थोड़ा सा increase कर रहा हूँ volume. Okay ना? That's
Yes,
much.
Quite a planetary gem. Saturn is the second largest of the 8 planets, and it is about 10 times as wide as Earth. Despite its size, Saturn is actually the lightest planet. It is predominantly made of the gases hydrogen and helium, and because of its particular gaseous composition, Saturn is the only planet in the solar system that's less dense than water. If the planet were placed on an enormous ocean, it would be able to float. Saturn's gaseous makeup also means that it has no true surface. At its center, the planet has a dense core of water, ice, and rocky material, but it has no actual landmass. Instead, it's mostly made of gases, liquids, and yellow ammonia crystals that swirl around the planet, creating golden clouds and storms. The largest storm on Saturn is at its north pole. It's over twice the size of Earth and shaped in a near-perfect hexagon. Each of the 6 sides is believed to be the result of jet streams, which all encircle a massive hurricane. Because of Saturn's inhospitable environment, the planet cannot support life, but some of its moons might. Saturn has more than 50 confirmed moons, and each varies in size and terrain. Enceladus, one of Saturn's smallest moons, is covered in ice and only about as wide as the state of Pennsylvania. Titan, Saturn's largest moon, is nearly as wide as Canada. Titan is also the only moon in the solar system with clouds and a dense atmosphere. Both Titan and Enceladus have underground oceans that would make them potentially capable of sustaining life. Saturn's moons may also play a role in shaping the planet's signature feature, its rings. Saturn's ring system is the largest and most complex in the entire solar system. The rings are made of icy and rocky remnants from comets, asteroids, and moons. The particles range in size from being as small as dust to as big as mountains. The ring system is divided into 7 groups of rings. Altogether, they are as wide as 4.5 Earths, but only about 2/3 of a mile thick. How the rings are able to stay on track and intact has to do with Saturn's smallest moons. Called shepherding moons, these tiny satellites orbit between the rings, and they seem to use their gravity to shape the ring material into circular paths.
Okay, that is all you need to know about it. Okay, so we got to know some very interesting things about it. Okay, काफी interesting चीजें हमने जानी इसके बारे में. Okay, like if you were to compare its width using the width of Earth, it's equivalent to 10 Earth. The width of it is equal to 10 Earth. अगर हम इसके rings की बात करते हैं, it is 4.5 Earths, 4.5 Earth wide. Just imagine. While if you were to talk about its thickness, it is just few miles. I know.
Yes, sir.
Right? ये कुछ interesting facts है Saturn के बारे में. Yes, Ahmed, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Now, Saturn, by the way, इसे हम हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं? Usually questions कभी-कभी पूछ लिया जाता है और
शुक्र.
we call it as शुक्र ग्रह.
शुक्र.
शुक्र
Yes, sir.
ग्रह. शुक्र और शनि. We call it as शनि ना.
शुक्र सर. Oh, yes,
Saturn,
sir. शनि.
Saturn, शनि कहते हैं.
So, but what
शनि.
is शुक्र?
Shukra, I believe it's Uranus, I think.
Sir, Uranus is called Arun and Neptune is called
Arun.
Varun.
Neptune is
Yes,
called
sir.
as Varun. Okay. We'll have to check on that. Okay. Shani Graha हम कहते हैं Saturn.
It is Shani Graha.
शनि ग्रह ना for Saturn. Saturn के लिए शनि
Yes,
ग्रह
sir.
है. शनि ग्रह in Hindi. Okay. So this is all we know about it. Then comes the next planet. That is
Uranus.
Uranus. Its number is 7th from the sun.
7th.
Right,
Yes, sir.
Ahmed? Okay. Now look at the animation of this Uranus here. Let me volume. Okay, the volume ज़्यादा हो तो please let me know. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In ancient times, humans studied the night sky and discovered the worlds of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter,
Okay. Look,
and Saturn.
someone's mic is on. Please turn it off. Mic is on. Someone. Okay. Good now.
The night sky and discovered the worlds of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. But beyond this realm of knowledge, another world shines brightly, just waiting to be discovered. Uranus is the 7th planet from the Sun. From a distance of about 20 astronomical units, or 20 times the distance between Earth and the Sun, Uranus orbits the star.
Now here there's a term is astronomical unit. Astronomical unit क्या होता है ना? Astronomical unit is simply the distance between the Earth and Sun.
Yes,
The
sir.
distance between Earth and Sun has been called as 1 astronomical unit. इसे हम क्या कहते हैं?
Yes, sir.
1 AU.
Astronomical
Okay,
unit.
astronomical
Yeah.
unit. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Once every 84 Earth years, approximately the length of a human's entire life. This orbit causes each season of Uranus to last that much longer. Theoretically, a human living on Uranus would experience the 4 seasons only once, but each for about 21 years. Partially due to its distance from the Sun, Uranus boasts the coldest temperatures in the solar system. These icy temperatures, dropping as low as -370 degrees Fahrenheit, are largely influenced by the planet's composition. At about 4 Earths wide, Uranus has an Earth-sized core made of iron and magnesium silicate. The remainder, approximately 80% of Uranus, is a worldwide ocean of ices made of water, ammonia, and methane, the chemical behind the planet's cool blue color. This icy composition prevents Uranus from emitting much heat compared to other planets, making the blue world the solar system's coldest. In addition to its extreme temperatures and orbit, Uranus has a dramatic orientation. While the other 7 planets spin on their axes like tops.
Now here you can see, look at the axis of all the planets, the tilt of the axis.
Yes, sir.
Looking at the tilt of the axis of Mercury, Venus, okay, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, okay, then Neptune. Talking about Uranus, you get to see that
It's 97 degrees.
it's around 97 degrees. Getting
Yes,
it now?
sir.
So that is the most striking feature about the Uranus. So thereby you will
Yes,
be
sir.
seeing that the axis of rotation, since it is in this manner, so thereby, since the axis are very highly tilted, thereby, in what manner it will be doing rotation, revolution around the sun?
Means, sir, I didn't get
अगर
it.
okay, I'm saying that usually हम क्या देखते हैं ना, basically we see that this is the axis of the Earth, okay, other planets axis are like this, but here the axis of it is like this. So usually, like how do I look here? For example, let's say that I have got this planet here. For example, suppose I have got a planet in my hand. Suppose.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So
Yes,
it
sir.
will be moving around the sun in this manner. It will be moving on its own axis. ये अपनी axis पे move कर रहा
Yes,
है,
sir.
doing
Yes, sir.
rotation, but at the same time it revolution भी कर रहा है sun का, right? But
Yes.
ये इस तरीके से movement कर रहा है, in this manner.
Yes, sir.
Getting it the
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
get the motion of it. While talking about Uranus, it will be doing motion in this manner.
Yes,
It's
sir.
a rolling movement.
Exactly, in this motion, in this type of motion is being done by it. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is basically rolling on its side. ये sideways roll कर रहा है. Okay,
Yes,
let's
sir.
continue then.
Uranus appears to roll along its equator. The planet is tilted at a near right angle, in which polar regions point toward and away from the sun rather than upward and downward. This tilt, thought to be the result of Uranus's collision with at least one celestial body, has also affected the orientation of Uranus's 13 rings and 27 known moons. Unlike the rings and moons of other worlds, which orbit their home planets horizontally, those of Uranus orbit in a vertical orientation along the planet's tilted equator, much like a Ferris wheel.
Okay, जैसे हमने क्या देखा अभी just moments ago we saw, like you have a planet like Earth or you have planet like Saturn. There moons will be moving around it in this manner, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
In
sir.
this manner, right? But here, this Neptune, its axis was tilted because it got hit by a huge celestial body. Okay, now the planet Neptune got hit by this planet Neptune. Uranus. We were talking about Uranus. This planet Uranus
sir.
got hit by a very big celestial body. Thereby, its axis was changed. पहले भी
Yes,
इसकी
sir.
axis और then other planets की जैसी थी, but since it got hit, thereby it changed. So thereby, its rings, 13 rings and 27 moons were there. So they are also moving in the same manner. Okay, in this manner,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yeah.
So rather than moving in this manner, the moons around it is moving in this manner. As we can see here, they are moving in this manner
Yes,
here.
sir.
Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is the thing about Uranus here. Okay. Okay. Continue. Then.
Much like a Ferris wheel. Uranus and its many unusual features were a mystery to the ancients, and the planet was actually thought to be a star. But in the late 18th century, astronomer William Herschel discovered that the celestial object was actually a new world. The scientific community debated over what the planet should be called, and eventually chose a name suggested by astronomer Johann Elert Bode. Bode believed that since Jupiter was the father of the gods, and Saturn was the father of Jupiter, then this new planet should be the father of Saturn, Silus. But rather than following the tradition of using...
No, look here. ये जो आप names देख रहे हैं, look at the names of this. Look here.
Yes, sir.
So planets have been named after the gods. The planets which you see, like the Jupiter, it has been named after father of the gods. Saturn,
Yes, sir.
father of Jupiter. Okay, now Celes, father of Saturn. By the way, we don't have any planet with such name, I believe. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But rather than following the tradition of using names from ancient Roman religion, Bode instead opted for Silus's ancient Greek equivalent, Uranos. Uranos, the ancient Greek god of the heavens, was then Latinized to be Uranus.
Okay. So earlier it was called as Uranus. Then
Yes, sir.
it's the name of the god of heavens. Then later on,
Hmm.
it was Latinized and then called as Uranus. समझ रहे हैं आप लोग?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
To this day, Uranus is still the only planet that veered from tradition with an ancient Greek namesake, a status most fitting for a planet beyond convention.
Okay. So that is the interesting thing about which planet?
Uranus.
Uranus. Getting it now? Okay. So what are the things we know about Uranus so far? Like, it is the seventh planet from the
Seventh
sun.
planet.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Seventh planet from sun. If you were to talk about its core, the core of the planet Uranus is almost equivalent to the
Water.
size of Earth. I'm
Earth.
talking
Yes,
about
sir.
core. Okay, iron and magnesium silicate is found
Yes,
in the
sir.
core of Uranus. Talking about
sir.
its this layer of it, that is basically consisting of water, ammonia, magnesium. Okay, that makes it very cool. In fact, this is the most bluest planet of all the planets. Earth has been called as the blue
Yes,
planet,
sir.
but if you were to look at it, the composition of it, that is water, ammonia, magnesium, etc., that gives it a blue color. Getting it
Excuse me,
now?
sir.
Yeah.
So, how do we know about what the core is made up of when we haven't even sent the satellite into its orbit?
Okay, look here. In geography, there's a field of remote sensing. Remote sensing. Now, remote sensing क्या होता है? Like, you look here. If I were to get details of this highlighter, study this highlighter. Okay, I have basically touched it. I will open it and I will look at its characteristics, get to study it, understand it. Okay, so that is the color of it. It looks pink. Yeah, so that is the
Yes,
color
sir.
of it. But what you see, you cannot touch everything and thereby determine its property and its characteristics, what color
Yes,
it is, what it is made up of. We cannot
Yes, sir.
basically go to the different moons, different planets and stars and then study them, have a microscope in our hand and then look at everything and then study them. No.
Yes, sir.
Basically, remote sensing में क्या concept होता है? Look here, the light rays that are falling on an object.
Yes, sir.
Like, for example, if अगर अहमद ने आज रेड कलर के कपड़ा पहना है या फिर if he has worn a blue color cloth, so what does it mean?
It's revolving in a different way. It's revolving something.
Why a certain thing looks like pink, blue? Why do we see different colors? Because
Because of the
light rays,
pigment.
not pigment, that's a different thing. I'm talking about light here. Okay, जब भी light rays fall करती हैं किसी object के ऊपर, all the rays that gets absorbed into it. Okay, and the one that gets reflected. Okay, for
Yes, sir.
example, web gear, you have studied about that. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so suppose there's an XYZ object here. Okay, any object is here. If it looks blue, in color, अगर अहमद का shirt का color blue है, what does it mean? That all the rays that were falling in it, okay, were being absorbed by it, but the blue rays were reflected. Blue light जो है
Yes, sir.
हमारा light में 7 different colors है, the blue color was getting reflected most. That
Yes,
is why
sir.
you see it as blue. Okay. Now, like if I were to study a planet, for example, I were to study a planet, let's say planet A. Okay. And if I were to study in what manner the light rays are reflecting from that planet, suppose मैंने क्या study किया ना, कि light rays are falling on it. Okay. And the
Yes, sir.
light ray which gets which is reflecting in maximum amount from that planet, let's say I say कि एक particular region से green rays की maximum reflection हो रही है.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so thereby I can conclude that there might be some possibility of presence of plants there. Plants की possibility
sir.
हो सकती है.
Yes, sir.
Arhan, Ahmed, और हम getting it now.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
that is
sir.
how we basically do certain speculations. Getting it? So in
Yes,
this
sir.
manner, we basically say that this planet or this celestial body could possess a presence of this mineral, this metal, or this and that, basically. समझ रहे हो आप?
Yes, sir.
So that is how it is being predicted. Now back to Uranus. Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun, and it can be seen with the help of a large telescope. Now, in fact,
sir.
हमें पता है. In fact, look here. ये बहुत ही great distance पे है Earth से. Okay, but yet
Yes,
it
sir.
can be seen with a telescope. With the help of a large telescope, you can see it. क्योंकि इसकी अगर
Yes,
हम
sir.
width की बात करें, it is equivalent to 4 Earths. That is
Yes,
the
sir.
width of the Uranus. In fact, interesting बात यूरेनस के बारे में ये भी आती है that it was the first planet to have been discovered from a telescope.
Yes, sir.
So it was a first planet to have been discovered using a telescope.
Telescope.
Who was the one who developed a telescope, by the way? Telescope किसने invent किया था? Not discover. किसने invent किया था? क्या उसका name G से start होता था?
Galileo.
Galileo. Yeah. Galileo
Yes,
was a famous person who invented the telescope, basically.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now. In the next class, I will be asking from you guys what type of lenses he used in the telescope. किस तरह के
Yes, sir.
lenses use करते थे? क्या था इसने? Like lenses are of different types. You have got the concave lens, convex lens. Okay,
sir.
study about that. Okay. So the diameter of it is almost 4 times that of Earth.
Oh,
Getting it?
yes, sir.
Let's talk about its rotation and revolution. Rotation and revolution की हम बात करते हैं. So how much time does it take? How much time it should be taking, guys? It takes,
So about 17 hours.
not 17 hours. Rotation की अगर हम बात करते हैं, somewhat close हुआ थोड़ा सा. It is 10 hours actually. It takes 10 hours to do rotation, while revolution it will be taking 84 hours. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if
Sir,
a
Saturn
person,
also take 10 hours, right?
which one? It was actually 10 hours 14 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Saturn took
Almost same.
10 hours 14 minutes. Okay now.
Yes, sir.
If someone were to live for 84 years on the planet Uranus, suppose if the life is hospitable there, so he
Yes,
would
sir.
be able to see 4 seasons in a span of 21 years.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Getting it now? So every 21
sir.
years you will be able to see 4 years, right?
Hmm.
Okay. What other interesting features we know about the planet Uranus? The most
Sir, it
remarkable
is
feature about it?
tilted at an angle of 97.7 degrees.
Exactly. So the most remarkable feature is that it's tilt of axis.
Yes, sir.
The tilt is highly axis actually. Axis की बात करें, the axis is highly tilted. The axis is highly tilted around 97 degree. 97 degree
Yes,
आप याद
sir.
कर सकते हैं. Okay ना? So the
Yes, sir.
tilt, the axis is highly tilted. कौन सी axis? Axis of rotation. Obviously एक ही axis होती है, that is of rotation.
Yes, sir.
Getting it now? Okay then.
Yeah. It has
So
27.
it is also said that there is a rain of diamonds.
Not rain of diamonds on Uranus, I believe. There are crystals in the animation you saw. No, there was a mention of one crystal. One type of crystals are there. I believe it was not Uranus. I think that was another planet. In the Neptune, we will get to know that diamonds are found there.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay now. Okay. So how many rings are there? 13 rings are there. Okay.
Yes, sir. 13.
Talking about its moon.
13.
How many moons it has?
27. 27.
27 moons. Good. So 27 moons are there. So quickly revise what are the things we have studied about it. Ahmed, quickly do tell the points which we discuss in this. क्या क्या हमने बातें की इसमें?
Sir, we've discussed about the distance, how it that called the radius of the depth. Yeah, depth. How many Earths can fit in, and then the Uranus, how does it surround over the sun, and the what is that? So,
Yeah. Okay, guys, do remember the important data. So important data है यहाँ पे. You can add them
Yes,
in
sir.
your answers, like the diameter of its rotation, revolution, how its axis is tilted, at what angle it is tilted, and how many rings are
Yes,
there,
sir.
and how many moons are there. Okay. Now after this, now have a look at this image as well. Okay, look at the image. Look at the tilt of the planets like Earth, Jupiter, Saturn, and the Neptune. इनकी axis पे कितनी tiltation है that is given. But if you look
Yes,
at
sir.
the Uranus, that is around 98 degree. Okay, almost
sir.
opposite to that. Okay, now just like Venus, its direction of rotation is also from east to
West.
west.
Like
So,
Venus.
so just like Venus, it rotates in clockwise, rotates from east to west.
So it is
There-
also 20 astronomical units.
Yeah, 20 astronomical. It is at a distance of 20 astronomical.
20
units.
astronomical units.
So that can also be added. Very good. So distance from sun,
Sun.
that is 20 astronomical unit.
Sir, so we can say that one astronomical unit is 150 million. So the Uranus is 150 million into 20.
Exactly,
20.
exactly. That can also be said. हम ऐसा भी कह सकते हैं. Okay. So that is a distance.
Yes, sir.
It's a distance from the sun. 20 astronomical
Yes,
unit.
sir.
Okay. That is the tilt of it. Now after this we come to which planet?
Neptune.
Neptune.
Neptune. Okay.
Eighth
What are the
planet.
things? That is the eighth planet. What are the interesting things we know about Neptune?
So it is the farthest planet from Sun. It completes one
Farthest planet.
revolution in the maximum time.
Mm-hmm.
It also has rings like other planets.
Yes. First thing is that
And it consists of water,
it is the
large
eighth
amount of water.
planet from sun. Okay, in the category of sun, it is the last planet. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Talking about its time period of rotation and revolution. So
Yes, sir.
about rotation, what figure you were mentioning?
Maximum.
Maximum? No.
He said maximum time.
Maximum. Okay, no. It
Yes, sir.
takes around 16 hours. It takes 16 hours, 3 minutes to be exact. It takes 16 hours, 3 minutes to do one rotation. Can you guess the time period of its revolution? It's the maximum. It's
Sir, 80 years.
more than 150. More than 150. It took 165 years. Kitne years hai? 165 years.
So,
That is the time
as you
period
mentioned that
of
the
revolution.
period of rotation is 16 hours and 3 minutes. Is it like exact? Like not even a minute or second?
Look, there could be some minor mistakes in the calculation. Okay, now.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it is being said that it is around 16 hours 3 minutes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
There could be difference of few minutes. Okay, it could fluctuate. It could be difference of few seconds. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Because farther the object is in the universe, the harder it becomes to study them. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, by the way, how can we tell the age of an object in universe? Like हम trees की age हम बता पाते हैं counting the rings present in the
So
stem.
amount of light, the distance light takes.
The time light takes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now the time light takes to reach Earth. So in that manner, we can predict how at what time period basically that celestial body was formed in the universe. So in that
Yes, sir.
manner, we can predict it. Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
So its distance is 30 astronomical units.
About Neptune.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
30 astronomical unit from where? From Earth or from Sun? Obviously from
Sun.
Sun. Okay. As you say, distance from Sun is 30 astronomical unit. Okay. Arham, what is astronomical unit? What do you know about it?
Sir, one astronomical unit is the distance between Earth and Sun.
Between the
150 million kilometers.
Yes,
Earth
sir.
and Sun. In
Yes, sir.
terms of kilometer. Good.
Yes, sir. Kilometer.
Okay. So rotation is 16 hours, 3 minutes. Revolution is 165 years. Now, how many Earths can we fit in it? कितने Earths हम fit कर सकते हैं इसमें?
So 3.
3 or more. Think of it. Well, think of it. Let me write that. How many moons are there? There are almost 14 moons. Not 14,
Yes,
it's 14. 14 moons have been confirmed so far.
So around 60 plus moons.
Around 50 plus moons.
60 plus moons.
No, I'm talking about moon of Neptune. Okay, it is around
Sir,
14.
I was talking about how many Earths can fit in it.
Earth can fit in it. Okay, like अगर मैं कहता हूँ mass of Neptune as compared to Earth. You know what is the mass of moon if you were to compare to Earth? Like earlier हम किस term से बात कर रहे थे? If you were to assume the no, that is gravity now. We're not talking about gravity here. We're talking about mass here. तो mass की बात कर रहे हैं.
Yes, sir.
अगर वन की टर्म्स में हम बात करते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल लुक हियर, yeah, look here, if the mass of earth is 1, if the size,
Yes, sir.
actually size की terms में बात करें, if the size of earth is 1, then the size of moon is size of Venus is
0.8.
0.8. अगर हम सेम रिस्पेक्ट में अगर बात करते हैं नेपट्यून की, so if you were to compare it in the same manner,
0.8.
so thereby what value will be getting if you assume the size of the earth as 1, so what we can say about the Neptune? Yes sir, have you studied that?
No,
No.
sir.
It's almost 17.
So that means it's bigger than Uranus.
63.
It is actually this Neptune we're talking about. It is the third largest planet after Jupiter. Okay,
sir.
and then
Saturn.
Saturn. This is the third largest planet.
Saturn.
Okay then. So that is all we know about Neptune. Okay, and
Yes,
then
sir.
there are some more details which you can add. Okay, now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now moving on. We have got some other celestial bodies also. Okay, now
Yes, sir.
which also
Yes, sir.
which also form part of the solar system.
Solar
अब
system.
हम like you have got examples of comets, meteors, meteoroids,
Yes, sir.
asteroids. Now इन्हें हम क्यों solar system के part consider करते हैं, and why do we study it under that? Because they also do revolution of sun. ये भी
Sun.
sun की revolution करते हैं.
Yes, sir.
Have a look at
Asteroid
this
belt.
image here. Asteroid belt is there. Yeah, asteroids are also doing revolution, isn't it? Ahmed, Arhan, Arham.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Look
sir.
at this comet here. You can see here this comet here is doing revolution of sun. ये भी sun का revolution
Yes,
कर रहा
sir.
है. Getting it now?
Yeah.
So thereby, any celestial body that does the revolution of the sun.
Sun.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
thereby we consider it to be part of the
Star.
solar system. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Stars नहीं, stars yeah, we अगर हम solar system की बात करते हैं ना, in solar system, in our solar system, the only star we study about is the sun.
Full star.
Okay,
Yes,
it's the
sir.
sun.
Yeah.
अगर हम Milky Way galaxy की, if you were to talk about Milky Way galaxy, then you will get to see that there are some stars in which several sun can fit. Several
Yes,
sun can
sir.
fit. Okay now.
Yeah.
Like Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yeah. Beetlejuice. That is also a star.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So as I said, 17 comets we are talking about. That is a comet, and comets के आप ये gas tail देख सकते हैं. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It always is away from the sun. The tail of comet.
So here you see that is the tail. So comet is basically what? It is a bright head with a long tail. It appears as shooting stars. Okay. Many people confuse comet with meteorites, but थोड़ा दोनों में
Yes, sir.
difference है. Okay. Because comet is doing revolution
Ice and
of
dust.
that is about its composition. अगर हम comet की बात करते हैं ना, the comets are doing revolution of the sun. They are doing revolution of
Yes,
the
sir.
sun. But shooting stars की जो हम बात करते हैं, shooting stars are basically falling on earth.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So basically एक name दे दिया गया, but that's not exactly shooting stars. Imagine how
Yes, sir.
stupid it sounds, like shooting stars. If the stars were to shoot on earth, what would happen to earth? Imagine that.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
क्या होगा earth का? Getting it? So comets, they appear as bright head. Their head is very bright. ये इसका head है. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And this much portion is the tail of it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So they revolve around the earth in highly elliptical orbits. Elliptical orbit is हम कहते हैं. This which you are seeing here, that is called as elliptical orbits. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All the planets that you see which are revolving around the sun, all of them have got elliptical orbits.
Yes, sir.
अगर मैं बात करता हूँ, for example, the orbit of moon around the sun, the moon that is revolving around the sun,
Spherical
इसकी
orbit.
orbit it's spherical है ये. This is spherical.
Yes, sir.
Good, very good, Arham. But if you to talk about the orbit of planets around the sun or comets around the
Yes,
sun,
sir.
they are not spherical but have a oval shape
Elliptical.
like this. Thereby they are called as elliptical. ठीक है
Yes,
ना?
sir.
Related to orbit, एक बहुत ही interesting law है, Kepler's law of planetary motion, which you will be studying in class 9. यहाँ पढ़ेंगे
Yes, sir.
Kepler's law of planetary motion. Okay, anyways, we are not going there right now. Don't get confused
Yes,
in
sir.
that. Okay, so it is always directed away from the sun, right? So the tail of
Yes,
the
sir.
comet is always directed away from the sun. Getting it? Okay, as you can see in this image here. Look at the tail here. ये आप देख रहे हैं? This here,
Yes,
this
sir.
thing here. That is actually the tail of it. So it always faces away from the sun, as we can see here. The head always faces towards the sun. ये जो हमारा bright
Yes,
portion
sir.
है, that is the head of the comet. It is facing towards the sun, while the tail
Yes, sir.
faces away from the sun. Then you have got meteoroids. क्या है हमारे पास then?
Yes, sir.
After comet,
Yours.
meteoroids. Meteoroids. Oh, what are
Yes, sir.
meteoroids? Meteoroids क्या होते हैं? If you were to see
Sir.
meteoroids, asteroids, sound
sir.
same, somewhat same sound करता है ना?
Yes, sir.
So meteoroids so meteoroids are celestial objects which ranges in size from a tiny piece of a sand grain to big boulders.
Yes, sir.
अगर हम
So
meteoroids
what
की
is
size
the
बात
difference
करें,
between meteorites?
I will be explaining that. Meteoroids, what is that? What is meteors and what is meteorites? There's a difference between the three. We will get to
Yes,
know
sir.
that in today's class. So meteoroids क्या होते हैं? These are also the celestial objects. Celestial objects whose size can range from grains to rock boulders. Rock boulders, you know what is rock boulders? समझ
Yes,
रहे हो
sir.
आप?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Big pieces of rocks. So that is
Yes,
the
sir.
meteoroids, and these rock boulders can weigh up to several tons. Okay, now so they can
Yes,
weigh
sir.
like up to 100 tons तक ये वजनी हो सकते हैं.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now and they also revolve around the sun. So they
Yes,
also
sir.
do revolution. Now I
Sir, the
am
comets
writing.
and the meteoroids, they are in every galaxy or only in Milky Way?
Look here, what we know, like जो हमने भी study किया है, and what I know that we have studied about asteroids and these meteoroids and comets from perspective of Milky Way galaxy only, but there are other galaxies in which we get to see the same phenomenon happening there as well. Same
Yes,
phenomena
sir.
वहाँ
Yes,
भी
sir.
occur हो रहे होते हैं. So obviously meteoroids, comets, meteors, asteroids can be found there as well. ये वहाँ भी पाए जा सकते हैं. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And now question is how these meteoroids were formed. Now these were left behind by the disintegration of asteroids and comets. So
Yes,
क्या
sir.
बात है?
Yes, sir.
The thing is that जो asteroid हमारा belt है, this asteroid and the comets, ये बड़े celestial bodies हैं. These are the bigger celestial bodies from the meteoroids. So meteoroids, asteroids and comets से छोटे होते हैं.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
ये
sir.
clear है? Now what happened now when the asteroids and the comets disintegrated? Disintegration, what does it mean, Arhan?
So it dislocates.
Disintegration is breaking into pieces. So due to the
Yes, sir.
disintegration of asteroids and comets, meteoroids की formation होती है. Okay, so these are much
Yes, sir.
smaller than the asteroids and comets, and these meteoroids are present throughout our solar system. हमारे पूरे solar system में ये present हैं, and they are revolving around the sun. ठीक है ना?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is meteors? Sometimes we see bright streaks of light in the sky. These are commonly known as shooting stars. Although they are not stars, actually these are small objects which glow due to friction when they enter the Earth's atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
पहले हम बात करते हैं meteoroids की. Look here. हमने कहा meteoroid is a small body in the solar system that is revolving around the sun.
Sun. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And if this meteoroid enters into the Earth's atmosphere, अगर ये
It's called
Earth के
meteorite.
atmosphere में enter करता है, then we call it as meteors. We call it as meteors. Look here.
Meteors.
This image which you are seeing here, that is actually a meteor. Now,
Yes,
not
sir.
all the meteors falls on the Earth. On an average, एक साल में 3000 के तकरीबन meteors fall करते हैं Earth के atmosphere में. Okay now.
Yes,
Now,
small, mild.
yeah, they are of small sizes. They basically get burned up in the atmosphere. But if
Yes,
these
sir.
meteors are big enough, अगर इनकी size बड़ी होती है, if they are big enough, and if they manage to fall on the Earth, like this meteoroid here, that is in India, and that is the in fact largest meteoroid in India. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so if it manages to fall on the Earth, then they are called as
Meteorite.
meteorites. Exactly. Is the difference between the three clear now? Ahmed, Arham,
Yes, sir.
Arhan?
Yes, sir.
Okay now. So then we call it as meteorites. So here
Yes,
basically
sir.
we have finished the chapter. Almost the chapter has been finished. Which important
Yes,
points
sir.
are be remaining here? Like you have got the natural satellite of the Earth, but then you have got
Yes,
the
sir.
artificial satellite also, like the International Space Station is there. Okay.
Hmm.
And then there's a series of other satellites which we have sent so far in the space. So that is the
Yes, sir.
So meteors
inside
usually burns around mesosphere.
mesosphere, troposphere, stratosphere. No, it burns before that. If usually ना अगर आप कभी कभी देखेंगे, you can see the meteors reaching up to the layers like up to stratosphere. Sometimes ये
Yes, sir.
stratosphere तक भी पहुंच जाते हैं. If it manages to
The
reach Earth, then it is
stratosphere
called as
is where
meteorites.
planes are,
Planes
right?
fly. Yeah, planes are there.
Hmm.
Okay. But they are but then वो usually बहुत ही